You got any spooks and gifts for us?
I feel weird about this.
You also don't have to have a
No,
story.
I do. And okay, so I grew up dabbling in a variety of Christian religions. My mom wanted to expose me to as many as she could.
Christian religion?
Christian religions, like there's
all the different
like
little...
Pentecostal and Methodist and stuff like that.
Right.
Pentecostal, easily my favorite, because we went to this Pentecostal church and it was all about the Holy Spirit touching you and coming inside you and talking tongues and making you dance and flop on the floor and stuff.
I've seen that shit.
Fascinating.
Dude, when I watched that, I'm like, this doesn't look Christian. This looks demonic.
Right. Yeah.
This is like the Jesus camp stuff.
And so like there's even like, which there's even like exorcism stuff in my history because my mom was like crazy, and so, but that all to me, I'm a victim of Munchausen syndrome. So how much of that is bullshit, right? Like how much of that is just story schema to manipulate me, right? I don't know, but here's something I can absolutely tell you beyond the shadow of a doubt that happened to me. So my mom passed in 2009, and I always wanted to be the good kid, you know, and I was the only one that would do anything for her, you know. Even though I got the worst of it, I for whatever reason, I could see the heart out of monsters, and I wanted to be there for her when she died. And so I get a phone call one day, and they're like, you know, your mom is about to pass at the hospital. If you want to be here, you need to come. And I pack up all my shit, and I go there, and I sat next to her, and I hold her hand as she dies. And, you know, they give her morphine to help her go. I don't think a lot of people realize that. But they'll give you morphine in a lethal dose when they know you're going to die anyway.
A lethal dose?
Really?
Right, they'll give you a lethal amount of morphine to help you.
Are you serious?
Go. Yeah, that's something that's very common.
Wow.
I didn't know lethal.
Right. Well, enough to where it's really going to help.
Basically, you're not. You're almost not even conscious at that point. Like,
Right.
You're not there.
Right. So, like in the case of my mother, all of her organs had shut down. She had 3 infections in her that were not reacting to antibiotics. She's absolutely going to die, and her heart is failing right now. So let's give her enough morphine to where when she dies tonight, she will die completely out of pain. She'll be completely unaware, completely comfortable.
Interesting.
And she's already in a medically comatose state at that point anyway.
Right.
So, held her hand as she died, and I'll tell you, I didn't know what to expect, but here's what happened. Nothing. Just nothing. She was alive 1 second, and she wasn't the next. And her body didn't change or transform in any magic way. There was no light. There was no poof. There was no wind. Nothing. The machines showed that her heart was beating 1 second, and they showed they were flatlining the next. That was it. And the nurses unhooked her, and I sat with her, and I sat with her, and I sat with her, and I, again, just kind of comatose. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you know? And they said, you can take as much time as you want. I'm like, okay, I don't know how much time I want. I don't know what I'm doing. But eventually my friend Chad, the guy who I told you helped me keep from being homeless and lives with us now, he was in the room, and he's like, Steve, we should go. We got to make arrangements. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, we left and did everything that had to be done. And I came home, and I was playing World of Warcraft. I decided the way I was going to cope with her death was to throw myself back into that game, make a few friends, and just play that game like a drug until the pain stopped. And so that's what I was doing. And I always spent Christmas with my mom every year. And this is the very first Christmas I would ever spend alone. Now with my wife, the last Christmas I'll ever spend alone. I'm pretty happy about that. But in fact, in retrospect, it's the only Christmas I ever spent alone. Interesting. And I'm sitting there playing World of Warcraft, shirtless. I was so broke at the time. I didn't have an office chair. I had a stupid broken cooler I'd flipped upside down.
Wow.
As I'm sitting there on this broken down desk, this broken down chair, on this old alien computer, and I feel a hand touch my right shoulder. Jump. And I realize it felt exactly the way my mom's hand felt when I was holding her.
Wow.
Now, me and my mom had this arrangement, and I have it with all my friends, I have it with my wife and everybody else. If there's an afterlife, you need to tell me. If there is any way you can communicate to me that there is an afterlife, you need to come and let me know so that I can stop being a fucking nihilist and get my shit together, okay? If it's Christianity, let me know. If it's Muslim, I need to fucking know. Whichever one it is, show up and tell me so I can start doing that, okay? So that's the deal. So I stand up and I look around the room and I go, Mom? Nothing. Mom? Nothing. So I sat back down And I type in the chat, I'm like, you're never going to believe what happened. And I felt the hand on my right shoulder again.
That's weird.
Oh.
So I knew not to turn around. I'm going to cry. I knew not to turn around because I know she's not going to be there anyway. And I know on some level that that's psychosomatic. I know on some level that's just me processing the grief.
Where was it? Like here?
Yeah, right here on the right shoulder.
Got it.
And I know on some level it's psychosomatic. I know on some level it's just me, my brain processing the pain and figuring out a way to deal with it. And, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, do I know that? Like, do I know that's what it was?
Well, you asked, you have this deal with your mom. Do you think that she was fulfilling it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what that means. I wish I did. I wish there was a moral to that story.
Right.
I wish I could say I figured it out. It turns out we all have to eat spaghetti every Thursday, and that's how we get into heaven. I don't, but I still to this day I don't know what it meant. I don't know what it was.
That's wild.
I have spoken to one therapist about it, and that therapist has said you're probably right. It probably was psychosomatic. You probably imagined the scenario. Were you sleep deprived during that period of time? Like, well, I wasn't sleeping at all for like weeks.
Yeah.
So that's probably part of it. It's just the grief process that strikes us all every possible way. But who knows?